happened! It happened! I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
The tale of George Foreman is the journey of two men who share the same name. A story of personal turmoil to reinvention and redemption. A genuine puncher from the old times who proved that the smaller they are, the harder they fall. From the scourge of the heavyweight division to the sporting world's jolly Santa Claus, a Hollywood-worthy epic of perhaps the most captivating life story of any athlete in history. George Foreman, a boxing legend.
Beg your pardon?
You would continue boxing even if you would lose over there.
I beg your pardon?
You don't think about losing?
No.
You hit Joe Frazier, and he was actually off the floor. I mean, both feet. Can you imagine lifting somebody up in the air with one punch?
I am the danger. I'm the one to be afraid of, definitely. I'm the one who can hit you and knock you unconscious.
Foreman would hit this bag. Sadler had just literally been picked off his feet.
He thought that the best way to deal with the world was just to become a monster.
Veteran boxer George Foreman will put on the gloves and climb back into the ring after almost a decade in retirement.
Fact is, the clock will not go back.
That is not a fact, what you're saying. The fact is, I can become heavyweight champion of the world if I want to at any age.
A man may as well be dead without a dream. You cannot live at the urging of other people.
Beneath it was always that softness that he was trying to hide.
It was years before I could really look in the mirror and say, I'm who I want to be.
I've seen pictures of him in his prime. He's picking up a full-grown cow.
Foreman hitting the heavy bag is one of the more prodigious sights I've had in my life. Of all the people I've seen hitting heavy bags, including Sonny Liston, no one ever hit it the way Foreman did.
Welcome back. We're talking with champion Joe Frazier. We were talking about that fight you have come up with Foreman.
That George Foreman intimidated the hell out of a lot of them.
Right uppercut, a left jab, sends Norton crumbling to the canvas.
George was kind of a freak. George was unusual. George was one of a kind.
I don't know what the referee is waiting for.
Joe Frazier and me will declare war on that day. That's definitely.
Today, we remember and honor the life of a legend, George Foreman. A name that echoes through the halls of boxing history, a man of remarkable strength, resilience, and transformation. George Foreman was more than a two-time heavyweight champion. George Edward Foreman was born on January 10, 1949, in Marshall, Texas. Raised in the tough 5th Ward of Houston, Foreman came from humble beginnings. Life wasn't easy. But from a young age, George carried with him a fire, the kind that pushes someone beyond their limits, the kind that changes destinies. In his late teens, George found a path through boxing, joining the Job Corps and training under Doc Broaddus. His talent was undeniable. Just a few years later, in 1968, Foreman won Olympic gold in Mexico City, proudly waving the American flag, an iconic image of pride, strength, and determination. His professional boxing career took off like lightning. With thunder in his fists and a fierce presence in the ring, George Foreman quickly rose through the ranks. Then came 1973, he knocked out the great Joe Frazier in just 2 rounds to become the heavyweight champion of the world. He was unstoppable, but perhaps his most legendary fight came in 1974, the Rumble in the Jungle. George Foreman vs. Muhammad Ali in Zaire. Though Foreman lost that match, it became one of the most celebrated fights in history. It marked a turning point, not just in boxing, but in Foreman's life. In 1994, at the age of 45, George Foreman became the oldest heavyweight champion in history, knocking out Michael Moorer. It was a victory not just of strength, but of spirit. He once said, "I'm a winner, not because I'm the strongest, but because I keep getting back up." And that's how we will remember him, not just for the fights he won in the ring, but for the battles he fought in life, for redemption, for faith, for family. Outside the spotlight, George Foreman was a devoted father to 12 children, including 5 sons, all named George. He often said it was to make sure they would all have something in common. His legacy as a father, mentor, and role model shines just as brightly as his boxing accolades. George Foreman passed away on March 21, 2025, at the age of 76. His departure leaves a void in the hearts of many. But his life, his journey from the streets of Houston to the mountaintop of the world, will forever remind us of the power of perseverance, faith, and reinvention. From gold medals to world championships, from the pulpit to the grill, George Foreman was a true American icon. He taught us that it's never too late to change, to grow, to believe. His fists won titles, but his heart won us all.
Please like and subscribe our channel Legends Lost and press bell icon also.